Senator van Turnhout.
I too would like to join in the welcome to you, David, and thank you for your extremely interesting address. I think I have plenty to say, as I'm sure we all have, about the reflection of Ireland on the 1913 lockout as compared to present day. And if we just look at a number of areas, whether we're looking at child poverty, socio-economic disparities, the promotion and protection of economic, social and cultural rights, substandard housing and accommodation, I just need to mention Priory Hall, or if I look at the ghettoisation that we have with direct provision, vested interest, property development and the relationship with banks. And David, you mentioned about our great-grandchildren, you know, if you looked in 1913, great-grandchildren. I think it's interesting to note at the turn of that century, it was lawful to hit one's dog, one's wife and one's child. Sadly, in 2013, it is still lawful to hit one's child. And arguably someone else's child, in the absence of an explicit ban on corporal punishment of children in the home and in alternative daycare settings. But perhaps that's for another discussion in this House. But I do think it's interesting about the rights of children. But due to time constraints, I limit my contribution to the following comments and question. Firstly, I want to commend the 1913 Committee of ICTU for the Dublin Tenement Experience Living the Lockout project, which was delivered in collaboration with Dublin City Council and the Irish Heritage Trust to commemorate 1913. And I do note this morning when I met with the Irish Heritage Trust, they told me that it started with a community grant, and I know that they're looking for the reinstalment of the community grants. But I had the pleasure of visiting 14 Henrietta Street back in August. And I think it's no exaggeration to say I felt totally transported during that hour. The poverty, disease, desperation, pride, spirit and fight portrayed by the actors were tangible, and I think anybody who was there very much felt it. So I'd like to ask you if it's envisaged that this will be made permanent. Is it something possible, and how can we support it? Because I think the way the arts came together for such an experience is tremendously powerful, both for the people of Ireland but also for those visiting. So it's something I think we should look at. My second question is, I was delighted by the decision of Dublin City Council to name the Marlborough Street Bridge after Rosie Hackett in recognition of her dedication to the trade union movement and her struggle for workers' rights. And I think the role of women is very important to recognise. But I also think it's very important to recognise and acknowledge that Rosie Hackett was just a girl of 18 years of age, who helped when she helped organise that strike and protest against poor working conditions in Jacob's factory. To galvanise and lead as many as 300 women at such a young age is a remarkable achievement and a testament to the potential of the young to be the driving force behind positive change. And I think we need to keep this firmly in mind when we're talking about youth activism. And we see organisations such as Spun Out, who have been very much in the news this week, the National Youth Council of Ireland and all its member organisations. David, you mentioned about the NEETs figure, which obviously is a concern, the youth guarantee. So what can we do to support this youth activism? You know, Rosie Hackett, as I said, she was 18 years of age, and there are many Rosie Hacketts of today that I think we should be supporting in helping us bring about positive change in Ireland. Thank you.